say you have the initial meeting with Elizabeth and she says, that's all good and well, let's put in the application for the Master of Philosophy. However, I've got this really cool idea about looking into the benefits or the effects of research events, such as this one, for Gold Coast medical students. This will be a really useful paper. Let's go about designing this. So how do I do that? Now, I've done a talk already, which you can watch on YouTube, about forming or framing research questions, which I'll let you watch in your own time. But how would you actually go about designing this study? So first, I actually like to identify an area that can be improved. Now, I think that you don't have to go for a gap in the literature like a lot of people say. You just have to improve something with your research. So that should be your aim. Then understand the current evidence. Now, I think that the best way to do that is through Google Scholar. The reason is because it sorts based on their citations and also includes a lot of Google's algorithms for search relevance. So you'll immediately get a lot of the prominent literature and a lot of the most relevant literature in whatever field you're going for in the most efficient way possible. Then, depending on the state of the literature from your initial scoping searches of Google Scholar, select a study design. So you may be in a completely new field and you may want to do a review of the literature that's there. You may want to look at evidence that's already been collected or data that's already been done in retrospective fashion. You may want to collect information in a prospective or going forward in time way to characterize it. You may already be at the case where you're trialing something. So that's a cohort study where you're looking at effects and you're comparing to something as well potentially. And then the highest level of a study design is a randomized control trial, and even higher than that is actually a systematic review of randomized control trials as well. Then the most important part of designing a study is what are you measuring? And you need to be very clear with that. I think be as objective as possible when you're doing this. That means use numbers in what you're measuring. So that means you can show a statistical difference clearly. However, when that's not possible, which may be the case in this idea I mentioned, use validated measures. So all that means is that there'll be a survey that's been done in the past that's been scientifically shown to be actually associated with what you're measuring through a validated process. Identify resources that you need, and as I mentioned before, seek collaboration early, and then obtain ethics approval if required to do so.